Well, happy Saturday to you. This is The Real Money Pros. I am Brian Wiley. You can find us at therealmoneypros.com. I'm solo today, which is great. Jeremiah is on an elk hunt, his second or third ever, I think. He's come up dry the first 2 years, so we're all hoping for the best, whether it's a big bull elk or whatever he gets. As long as he's getting something, or maybe even just sees one, would probably be a great thing for him. I started the show today with a little bit of frustration, I have to admit, and it's rare that I would allow public, news to really start to set the mood. But I think we have to talk about the government shutdown, the extended government shutdown. It seems to be a game. In fact, this game is now starting to really affect a lot of folks. And a lot of people will either say, well, good, those that are dependent upon SNAP benefits, they're just sucking off of the government. I can't say it, but they are, right? Or are they? Because these are benefits that these people have become used to, and we're going to talk about that here in the program. The phone lines are open because I want your input, your ideas. How do you feel about things? You can call the program, 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. Or go to therealmoneypros.com. You can find me there. I do need to open up the phone lines. I guess I'm going to do that right now. So those are open, Josh. But what do you feel about this government shutdown? Has it gone on long enough? Is it too long? What do you think about this? Here's the way I see it. We had government shutdowns about 5-6 years ago. I think we're all aware of that. It was during the Trump administration. It was also a precarious time politically when Republicans did control both the House and the Senate, and you had the presidency, but yet still things don't get done. And we're in that similar position right now. Now, some would blame Democrats, saying the Democrats, you're holding out on something, the ACA, which was going to expire anyway, and you're asking for additional funding, and we've got a cost-cutting president right now, so suffer you might. And give up on your ideas, and the Democrats should end this shutdown. But then some would also blame the Republicans, saying all you have to do is bend on this. You've got all the cost savings. You've got tariff revenue. You've got the ability to continue the ACA benefits, so turn it back on. I had asked my wife this morning, I said, who do you think is at fault at this point for the shutdown? And I thought that she was going to say Democrats because I know that she leans Republican, but she didn't. She goes, both at this point. And I said, yeah. This is the point of public frustration where we start to see people actually see the truth. And the truth is that we've got two parties holding out. There's been some efficiencies made. There are requests. We understand the entire world now knows each side has made their point. But when should it end? Some would say continue to hold out. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I'm a 25-year veteran financial advisor, and I can tell you right now that I thought this before the program. I thought, what percentage of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? And let me describe paycheck to paycheck, which means you've got regular bills that are going to come up in 2 weeks and a month. You already know about them. They're regular bills. It's your food, your utilities, your rent or your mortgage, your car insurance, car payments, all these things. This is a fixed amount of money that you need to make and have available for you when the bills come due. 67%, according to at least one study that I've read, and this was done by PNC Bank last year, they said 67% of Americans cannot miss a paycheck, cannot actually support their regular payments for any amount of time after the missed paycheck. Now, if 67% sticks, now I had thought, well, my idea was I know it's going to be better than 50% or more than 50%, and it certainly is. One study showed up 52%, so they're all in agreement that at least more than half of U.S. citizens cannot afford to go without a single paycheck. Now, I don't know if you're on a weekly pay cycle, a 2-week pay cycle, or a 1-month pay cycle, but if you don't receive that check, what is your plan? Do you have a plan? Because as a financial advisor, this is exactly where you have to look at your financial advisor and the work that they're doing for you, simply because there needed to be a plan. Now, government workers, typically not a most volatile job. It's not something where they're laid off on a regular basis. But we've seen this now for the last 7 years. This is the third government shutdown that I recall anyhow, where having a government job could be dependent upon whether or not the government is getting along in Congress. And you may get furloughed. Then you're not officially out of a job, but then you're supposed to show up for a job, I guess, perform the job's duties, don't get a paycheck. How do you feel about that? How have you set aside money? What have you done? If you need help, call this program. I may have some ideas for you. And I'm going to offer out cash ideas for you to be able to set aside liquidity. Liquidity is your ability to quickly convert something to cash so you can go pay your bills. How quick can you change things out, have the liquidity, hopefully not have to pay taxes and penalties, or surrender charges, or contingent deferred sales charges, CDSCs as they're known, because you didn't have a good enough long-term plan or a short-term plan to be able to tolerate not having a paycheck. So if 60-something% cannot make it more than a paycheck, that means that I'm going to guess quite a few listeners listening to this program right now, and I want your phone call, which is, why do you not have it set aside? Or are you looking for ideas? Or how have you been able to survive through this? How much longer will you make it? General poll question. You can go onto our website, go to therealmoneypros.com, use the Ask the Experts feature or the text feature, and just put in, how many weeks would you make it if you had no paycheck? Now, if you're already retired, I guess it muddies it, right? Because your paycheck doesn't really matter, but your paycheck may actually be from interest, or it could be from investments that may not continue to pay. I can't think of anything offhand, but nonetheless, I'm not really asking you this question. But if you're employed, now more so if you're employed by the government. But then on the bigger picture. So the bigger picture is, last night, having a conversation, we went Halloween trick-or-treating with my stepdaughter and her dad and his girlfriend and my wife and me, which is great. Cozy family. It's fun. It's healthy. But he had said, what do you think about this AI thing? And I said, he goes, do you think it's really in a bubble? And I said, well, let's talk about that a little bit, because what is the bubble? The bubble is, with AI, is that you've got a lot of companies vying for a position that might be controlled by very few. It's very similar to what we had happen back in the internet, .com days. People say the dot bomb, the blow up. But the blow up only happened with the stocks that people had gotten into, paid too much money for, and found out later there was no earnings or reasoning for why those stocks had ran up so high. But there were some diamonds that came out of the dot bomb era, which, look at those folks who may have held Apple or Microsoft or Amazon, or maybe you bought things cheap. Heck, maybe even your Priceline stock worked out by now. But if you miss it, well, then you're not going to be able to participate in it. And he says, what do you think about the AI thing? And I said, well, right now, this government job thing, this is a preview, in my opinion. This is just a preview of what we're going to see in the next few years. And I don't want to be part of this big fear cycle about AI is going to take over your job, but AI might take over your job. What kind of job do you have, and how safe is it? Because my wife was saying that, she goes, well, then people should have credit lines set aside. And I said, yeah, go ask a bank when you don't have a paycheck for a loan. She goes, the lending officers make money by making loans. And I said, yeah, but they still have to fit a box. And that inside that box is going to be qualifications. One of those qualifications is the ability to repay it. But at some point, you also have to look at the risk of people's jobs. Like, for example, if you're a software programmer, you are on notice right now that AI probably will be taking over a good portion of your duties. That means your pay is going to go down. If your pay goes down, how long can you withstand not getting a paycheck? Most people, they can't withstand even a couple weeks. How about you? What is a smart way to set aside cash to be able to withstand this? And see, I learned the hard way with clients, by the way. Embarrassing meetings at times where we had socked away their money for long-term growth. I never really asked them enough questions about what they had sitting inside the bank accounts, or do they have an open line of credit that they could go draw to, or do they even have credit cards with zero balances or low balances with available credit room to be able to go survive. And I saw it happen during the Great Recession, which people were trying to figure out, what are they going to not pay? Like, what's the order of importance of what you don't want to pay and which one's going to affect you least? When I come back from the break, we've got a caller on the line. Jason says he's working in air traffic control. I can't wait for this phone call. I want to hear about that furlough, or is he still working? I mean, that's a sworn-in position, right? So you have a duty to protect Americans. Wow. Phone lines are open, 979-59-MONEY. Any financial topic, that is fair game. Call the program, your opinions. This is The Real Money Pros.
Businesses today face a barrage of challenges. They hunt for top talent, the search for the right benefits package, and the ever-rising tide of healthcare rates. And putting together the right team to run your HR-related tasks can be expensive, let alone time-consuming. Enter Ataraxis PEO, your professional employer organization ready to tackle all your HR needs from payroll to benefits administration, payroll services, workers' compensation, and talent recruiting. They've got you covered. With Ataraxis, you gain access to a team of experts who handle the nitty-gritty of HR, freeing you up to focus on what you do best, growing your business and growing your revenue. Ataraxis takes the time to learn about your business, crafting personalized solutions to help you and your team succeed. So say goodbye to the stress of HR administration and hello to Ataraxis. Experience the power of a true business partner with Ataraxis PEO. Visit ataraxispeo.com. That's ATARAXISPEO.com. Ataraxis, elevating businesses for the benefit of all.
Looking to make your dream of home ownership a reality? Look no further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. Academy strives to offer the best rates and terms tailored to your financial situation. At Academy Mortgage, you'll be treated like family, not just another file. Navigating today's ever-changing housing market can be challenging, but their team is here to help. Experience the zero-down options, including loans with no mortgage insurance. They also provide specialized medical professional loans and unique 2-to-1 rate buydowns that reduce your monthly payment for the first initial years of your loan. And forget about dealing with brokers and middlemen. With Academy Mortgage, everything happens in-house, from origination to funding. Say goodbye to hassles and surprises. Begin your home ownership journey today by visiting them online at academymortgage.com. That's academymortgage.com.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, back to the Real Money Pros.
I am back. This is The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. That's how you can find us. Please see our quality sponsors. They support this program. I'm not trying to sell you annuities and things like that. Well, I don't even sell those things. I give advice as a fiduciary only, which means not selling anything is not very profitable for me to be on this program, other than we have great sponsors. Now, the sponsors we've hand-selected. These are sponsors that we do business with our clients. So, for example, you own a small business, we see that you're running your own payrolls, and you've got maybe no qualified plan to offer to your employees, and maybe you're starting to grow, so then we introduce you to a company like Formations or Ataraxis PEO. Ataraxis is your payroll company, your benefits management company, your human resources management company that keeps you compliant so you can go out and make the widgets that you're trying to make. And Formations is the company that would help you with your tax efficiency if you're a self-employed person. Well, we know great companies that have done great work for our clients that we know that would also translate into good work for you. So please give them a shot. See them online. Go to therealmoneypros.com. We have a brand new website that will start, I believe, sometime later this week. Hopefully by next weekend, we'll have a new imaged up website. What is the Real Money Pros all about? Well, this is probably your only live financial talk program on the weekends. Sales are not a thing. I'm not selling you annuities or mutual funds or estate plans or anything, gold, none of it. We sell advice, but we don't sell it on the program. You can call the program when you'd like. I can talk about estate planning, taxes, you name it, insurance. I don't care. I've covered every topic in 25 years. I'm pretty sure I can answer your questions too. But I'm asking you a question right now, which is, how long can you survive without a paycheck? A lot of criticism is going out right now from the general public that is not directly affected by the government shutdown, judging those people who are directly affected by the government shutdown. How do you feel about things? What about this whole SNAP benefits thing? Do you see this as a good thing? Do you see it as a bad thing? Do you have a scenario that you know personally where losing SNAP benefits would be tragic? Call the program, 979-59-MONEY, because I want your voice to be heard on this program. Now, when it comes to left and right, it doesn't matter. Our government works for us. You're the taxpayer. I'm the taxpayer. They're elected by us, and they're representing us in Congress, but are they? Are you being represented right now with a stalemate? Is that the stalemate you would also encourage? Because you've been drafted, you've been enlisted, your wallet has been this year. We're fighting a tariff war around the entire world right now, and it's costing you more money. And now some of you don't have that more money because you don't even have a paycheck. That means that legislative risk is very deep into your scenario. Now, I've got a caller on the line that I'm really interested in getting to. I'm going to go right to him right now. We got Jason. Says he works in air traffic control. Hi, Jason. Jason, are you there? Oh, I guess I have to push the talk button. There we go. I bring you in. Jason, don't ever leave me in control of the technical buttons to run this program, because I'll just talk to you and you'll never be able to talk back. So I got you on the air. Jason, You're working in air traffic control. How are things going for you? And are you still showing up to work right now?
I am, yeah. I mean, it really comes down to, it's still got to get done, whether the government shut down or not. Somebody's got to be there. And there's a whole lot of stress going around. Just stress and panic, and I can't blame them, really. And it's been hard.
It's an interesting job because where else in this world could you be told to continue to work until and then they just defer out a paycheck, say, we're going to give you a paycheck someday for the time that you're putting in here. Thank you very much. You direct the planes in, which, by the way, you're in a sworn oath situation, right? Where you are sworn to support and defend the Constitution and to take that obligation freely, and you're supposed to be not participating in strikes against the government, meaning it's almost like a military type of a commitment, but yet you don't get a paycheck. How do you feel about that?
Right. Complicated feelings. I'm angry. But at the same time, it's got to get done. And I'm not going to go anywhere. And I know that eventually I'll get paid. But
now,
I'm struggling.
I bet you are. Are you out of money yet?
No. I've got a little bit of a savings cushion, and I'm getting some help from some family. But I'm just wondering. I wasn't really expecting anything like this. I mean, who does? I'm just wondering what I can do to prep for some kind of situation like this in the future. God forbid it happen again, Yeah,
exactly. So you're using, hopefully, the TSP plan, right? The thrift savings plan that's offered to government workers for your 401k. Yeah. So basically your version of a 401k. Yeah. So you put money into the TSP plan. TSP plan actually offers a loan provision. So there's that. You've got a liquidity resource right there that should be probably one of your last resources to get at, because the loan itself has some pretty strict rules on it. You've got to make payments on it. There's got to be interest that's attached to it, the same bit, or that whole thing. But nonetheless, the thrift savings plan could be a resource for you. Do you own a home?
No, I don't.
Okay. At some point, if you have home ownership, you could establish a home equity line of credit, have that set aside to be able to get to. But you said you're living off of what, savings, and you've got other investments that are paying, or what?
No, just savings, and then I'm getting some help from some family. I don't really have any investments to speak of,
Okay.
which is
You sound like a young guy. Yeah, you sound like you're on the younger end in your new career. And wow, this is probably not a great way to start it, but nonetheless, are you married?
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah, single. Listen, we've all been in this spot where you have to start out, and you're just starting out with the difficult thing that happens right in front of you. But it's great because that means that you're going to be smart enough to go through this time, and you're going to say, yeah, never again am I going to do that. And you're going to be set up for the next time it happens, which most certainly will. At some point during your career, we'll have another government shutdown. You'll go through a similar situation, but you're going to be the guy that has already set aside some money. But until then, at least the nice thing about it is instead of it happening when you're close to 60 years old in retirement and you're hitting these, your 401k and you're withdrawing or you're paying penalties or whatever it might be, at least you're doing it on the younger end. How old are you, Jason?
29.
Okay, there you go. Yep, nailed it. So, just defer money to your TSP when you start having that come back in. Lean on your parents, family, friends. This government shutdown at some point will end. I'm going to guess that the pain threshold on it is probably going to put an end to it here in the next couple of weeks, but you never know. You don't know. But we all should have seen this coming to some degree. We should have saw it coming. You're 29. How long ago did you start as a air traffic controller?
Last year.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, man, sorry. Unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Is there any specific question I can answer for you as far as helping you out?
No, I mean, as far as setting up maybe some like other investments might be something I'm looking into in the future just so I have some extra cushion.
Good.
I'm just wondering if there was anything else I could have done specifically to prep for a situation like this. But, like you said, I haven't had a whole lot of time. You haven't had a whole
lot of time. Yeah, you come out of school, you got school debt, you're now getting a decent paycheck, but not a giant one, and you're just trying to make it work. And this is where family and friends are probably going to be your best part of your plan for now. But, yeah, setting aside some cash and having that set aside is a great idea. When I come back, I'm going to talk about the buckets and how you solve yourself into the right liquidity amounts. Thanks for the call, Jason. This is Real Money Pros.
As we age, managing our finances can become increasingly complex with ever-changing tax laws, estate planning, insurance needs, and investment environments. At Apollon Wealth Management, their goal is simple: to help enrich your life with personalized, expert financial advice. With a nationwide network of advisors, they're committed to delivering the best solutions for your financial future. It's time to take control and get the guidance you deserve. Connect with an advisor today by visiting The Real Money Pros. That's therealmoneypros.com.
Did you have a tax strategy going into this year to help maximize your tax savings? I'm Jeremiah Bates with Tree City Advisors of Apollon. We consider key factors like required minimum distributions, Social Security, net unrealized appreciation, 1031 exchanges, and more. Because a good advisor should help you with more than just investment selection. Visit us today at treecityadvisors.com or call us at 208-888-1244.
Advisory services offered through Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Apollon, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
As a financial advisor, I often see that many families I meet with end up paying way too much money in taxes. If a healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but high annual premium, why wouldn't they look at a high deductible insurance plan instead? They could save on their premiums and put those saved dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown tax-free and then use tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses. That's why you need Lively, our favorite because it's simple, fast, and free. I use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. Visit Lively right away. You can even roll over your existing HSA money into this new plan and start saving right away. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/PRO. Lively is a proud sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. Ends 5/28. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Imagine financial advice without a sales pitch to buy something, and imagine a long-term financial plan focused on your goals, not somebody else's, and the day that you can leave your broker because you know how to do things on your own. At Tree City Advisors, we do things a bit differently than our peers. First, we help you define your purpose for investing. We help you clean up messes or complicated financial issues from your past. We help you organize all your financial pieces into something manageable. We're a fiduciary-only firm, and we design simple strategies. And we teach you how it all works without clutter, confusion, or high cost. We can either do your investments for you or we can teach you how to do them on your own. In the end, we empower you with knowledge, lower fees, and confidence. Welcome to Tree City Advisors. This is the way we think if financial advisors should work for their clients. At Tree City Advisors, we provide flat fee planning and training. We also offer full service asset management, and we employ do-it-yourself technologies. There's never a fee for an initial meeting or review, so let's get started. Learn more at treecityadvisors.com. Tree City Advisors is an SEC registered investment advisor.
You're listening to The Real Money Pros.
So get this, 40% of U.S. adults struggle to afford at least one basic need like housing or health care. Although, obviously, that varies by demographics, and a different study found about 22% of U.S. adults often or always feel lonely or socially isolated, meaning they're not going to go out and ask for help. The inability to support oneself can also be measured by poverty rates, with about 10% of all U.S. families living in poverty. Now, as a financial advisor, I help people out with like Social Security benefits, trying to elect the right benefits, maybe even helping them with their paperwork and making sure it's done correctly. Now, Social Security is another issue. 40% of those people who are receiving Social Security benefits currently, according to the U.S. government, it's 100% of their monthly pay. Now, they're still getting a paycheck, but not all government workers make a lot of money. In fact, some of them don't make much at all. I've seen some government paychecks or packages that are less than $60,000 a year. Imagine that. It sounds a little tough to live on such a small amount, but is it tough enough? Do we have this income disparity? Is this that big of a deal? Let's see what Craig thinks. Phone lines are open, 979-59-MONEY. Listening out of San Diego, we've got Craig on the line. Hi, Craig. Oh, I got to push the talk button. See, listen, I cannot be actually doing this stuff at the same time. I'm horrible with that. Hey, Craig, sorry about that.
That's all right.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, my main thing was I really get disappointed when I get in line at the grocery store and the person ahead of me has two kids in the shopping cart, one on the way. Mm-hmm. They got their groceries divided out into here's what I can get with my WIC voucher. Here's what I can get with my EBT voucher. And then here's what I'm going to buy as far as liquor and tobacco. And the person's got tattoos. And I'm not judging anyone with tattoos, but if you got money for tattoos, liquor, and cigarettes, I don't think the rest of us that have been working their whole life should be picking up the tab for that. I've been working since I was 17. I'm almost 60. I'm looking at retirement, and I'm going, no, we're spending too much money taking care of people that are riding the system as long as they can. And I'm not going to be able to retire because there's people that are on the system that are making almost as much money as I am. after working for 40 some odd years.
It's an
I
interesting.
started when I was 17.
You realize we've legislated ourselves right into this position. Like, I'll give you an example of this. So you pay FICA taxes right now. The limit on income for FICA taxes, I'll have to look it up because it's a moving target. FICA tax income limit before they start to phase out your contribution to Social Security. But here's the thing. That same amount almost coordinates, it's very close to what coordinates with the ACA for people to get the advanced premium tax credit on health insurance, meaning you're paying FICA taxes and you're needing public assistance. Now, some people then also need food assistance. They may need housing assistance, but yet they're paying these taxes into this system. Whereas I thought about this many times, which is, well, why don't we start FICA taxes instead at that amount, which is $176,000, and allow those people to use the vast majority of their income while they're in the lower marginal brackets to be able to support themselves? Because I think that most people in those positions want to feel like they're participating in society, but how do you get out of it? Like, how would you get out of this idea, Craig, if you were to not get a paycheck like federal workers? How long could you survive without a paycheck?
I'd be pretty difficult to do that. I'm retired military, and I'm just about ready to retire from the post office. So those two incomes are pretty much, if the federal government fails to pay its retirees, then we've got more problems than we're going to be able to deal with.
Then let's talk about that scenario.
I've got about $300,000 in my 401k too.
Yeah,
I'd probably start living on my 401k.
And how old are you?
I'm just about 60.
Okay, yeah. So
59 and a half.
Okay, perfect. You're past the penalty phase for the 401k, so you could actually do that. But let's just set yourself 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you didn't receive a check. Let's say a paycheck. How long would you have made it?
I'm one of those people that would be out looking for a job immediately.
Okay.
I'm still seeing signs that say they're hiring, and I would be out looking for a job. I have always worked since I was 17.
Same. And the fact is that there are jobs. There's help wanted signs. Heck, you can go to any restaurant I go to and they could just open up another section. That'd be nice because they don't have enough employees running around there to be able to serve the number of clients that they've got waiting. And it's like the post-COVID world. It's changed everything. And it seems to me that we've almost become French in our own way and we don't want to work and we want a limited work week. So is this kind of the slap in the face to people to get their attention, say, okay, well, we need to start fixing this stuff because, yeah, you've been on the benefits too long or whatever it might be?
Yeah, they do need to set some kind of a criteria where, I mean, to me, seeing somebody covered with tattoos, like I said, I'm not knocking someone with tattoos, but they're not cheap. Someone buying cigarettes and alcohol, they shouldn't be having to beg for money for their food and for their child food when they've got money to spend on the other frivolities like nails and hair and extra little makeup stuff. And
got my nails
it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to disagree with you on this, but this is also part of the problem is that when we look at social benefits, we tend to focus or hone in on the misuses of it and not the good uses of it. And I'll give you an example of a good use. When my wife was about 5 years old, her father was an alcoholic and a bad one. Her mother was basically a sociopath. She got caught embezzling, and when my wife was 5 years old, she saw her mother get taken away for prison and didn't see her again for roughly 15 years. She got put into the foster system. Her two brothers as well. They had to live apart. They would not keep the kids together. Grandmother spent a year. Now, the grandmother was already retired, didn't have much money, was disabled. Very disabled, I would say. And she took the three kids in, but there is no way that she would have survived without having some sort of public assistance. And so my wife grew up on basically SNAP benefits for the better part of her adolescent years, all the way through her early teenage years. And I had asked her, I said, how do you feel about this? She goes, for us, it would have been absolutely devastating. She goes, I don't even know where we would have gotten food.
Yeah, I just want to see them tighten up the reins on who gets it, though.
Same. That's the problem is that we put everybody into a box. If you fit the box, you're going to get it, even though there's ways to maneuver around that. And you wonder, because what's the staffing need to be able to go and interview each home? Or do you have them have to requalify every 6 months and then have to have some social worker go out and visit them? Or do you watch what they're spending their money on? Or there are ways. We've got technology to do a better job distributing the benefits to the people who need them versus the people who want them. And I think we're in full agreement on that.
Yeah, you definitely got my agreement on that.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Greg, thanks for the call. Certainly appreciate it. What are your thoughts? 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. Craig says, maybe this is a time to get people to realize that they probably need to get back to work. Post-COVID, we all know what we're talking about here right now, right? Post-COVID has been weird. It's even weird in my office. So what happened during COVID is we have financial advisors, we have administrative staff, and it wasn't a very big team, but roughly 10 of us. And we had just had an employee told us that she was going to move to Alaska. We panicked a little. We wanted her so bad that we said, wait, we're pretty sure we can find the technology to get you up into Alaska where she wants to live with her husband, and you can still answer our phone lines, and you still will be able to do paperwork and work with our clients the whole bit. Her name's Amanda, and Amanda still works with us. Well, we had set her up, and about 2 weeks later, the shutdowns happened. So we knew what equipment to buy. We just ordered more of it, got everybody sent home. The office was vacated. In fact, it had to be vacated. We were considered an essential business, but we were able to put portions of the team down there. I think at one point we were rotating 3 people through, and everything is behind screens, the whole bit. Well, here we are 5 years later. And I will still walk in this office at times, and it feels like only half the people are here. And I'm not saying anything against the people I work with. I think that they've gotten themselves to the position where we run a very efficient office. And I always have said to them, saying, sometimes you're going to work way over what you feel like you're getting paid for. And then sometimes you're going to have spare time. Use the spare time as credit for those times you're working hard. And we don't have conversations. We don't have to talk about overtime pay, any of that stuff, which just doesn't occur in our office. We all just do our fair share, and I don't judge when somebody wants to take off. However, it's hard to not judge at some point then. Where's everybody? I remember we all used to work together, and it felt good, and we had energy this way, and things are different. Now you go to the restaurant, and half the restaurant is not seated. The other half is seated. They cram people tight together. You can look at the waiters are handling too many tables because nobody wants the jobs. Now, one of the purposes of having these tariff wars is to also bring manufacturing back to the United States because we have people who are willing to perform those jobs if they can pay a decent amount. And at this point, they will pay a decent amount. If you have a federal job, you've been furloughed, you're not getting paid, or you're on SNAP benefits and you have a story to tell, I want to hear it. This is The Real Money Pros, 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. The quick and dirty on the bucket system, the BetterBuckets that we teach here on The Real Money Pros, is that you put 3 years worth of cash needs into a stable cash-like bucket where it's not invested, it's not subjected to gains or losses, none of it. It's just static, but it's there. Do you have that? I'll be right back.
Businesses today face a barrage of challenges. They hunt for top talent, the search for the right benefits package, and the ever-rising tide of healthcare rates. And putting together the right team to run your HR-related tasks can be expensive, let alone time-consuming. Enter Ataraxis PEO, your professional employer organization ready to tackle all your HR needs from payroll to benefits administration, payroll services, workers' compensation, and talent recruiting. They've got you covered. With Ataraxis, you gain access to a team of experts who handle the nitty-gritty of HR, freeing you up to focus on what you do best, growing your business and growing your revenue. Ataraxis takes the time to learn about your business, crafting personalized solutions to help you and your team succeed. So say goodbye to the stress of HR administration and hello to Ataraxis. Experience the power of a true business partner with Ataraxis PEO. Visit ataraxispeo.com. That's ATARAXISPEO.com. Ataraxis, elevating businesses for the benefit of all.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
As a financial advisor, I often see that many families I meet with end up paying way too much money in taxes. If a healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but high annual premium, why wouldn't they look at a high deductible insurance plan instead? They could save on their premiums and put those saved dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown tax-free and then use tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses. That's why you need Lively. Our favorite because it's simple, fast, and free. I use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. Visit Lively right away. You can even roll over your existing HSA money into this new plan and start saving right away. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/PRO. Lively is a proud sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
And we're back to the Real Money Pros.
I am back. This is the Real Money Pros. Again, you go to therealmoneypros.com. Please visit our website. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free to you. We're not selling your information to advertisers or anybody else. We don't spam your inbox. We send you a newsletter 4 times a year, and that newsletter is collectively written by financial advisors who are experts in, say, Social Security benefits. We have Alexandra Lundgren, who is a certified Social Security analyst, I think, or advisor. There's a designation. She has that. She'll offer something in the newsletter. You have companies like Apollon Wealth Management, which is a deep network of good fiduciary, experienced advisors that aren't afraid to ask questions or share advice with people, even though some people will take that advice and not use them. That's great. That's what we're here for. As a fiduciary, I do things in your best interest, even on the phone calls on this program, the best I can. And I try to keep in mind that I don't know everybody. I don't know really anybody that's listening to the program. And so my information, or I guess my advice, sometimes has to be somewhat broad and generally good for most people. Otherwise, I'm not working as a fiduciary. But I am. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I talked about this cash bucket, the BetterBuckets. BetterBuckets is just... I read a book years ago. I know who wrote it. Ray Lucia. He used to be a radio program host. He created the Buckets idea. I didn't invent these things. I used them in my practice mostly by reference, I would say, meaning by principle, not really calling them buckets and so on until probably about 5 years into the practice. And I realized that having that visual representation for people was good because even though we're on radio right now, you can watch on YouTube, you can see the video. What happens when you see it visually is it takes your imagination back out of it. So I do like radio. I do like the platform of talk and being able to have this good discourse, bring questions on the program, vary the topics, but your imagination creates visualizations that are healthy to you. They can be, they should be. So when I say buckets, I actually want you to picture buckets in your head. 3 of them to be exact. I don't care what color they are. It's just 3 of them side by side. One of them's obviously in the middle and the other one's on the left and the other one's on the right. It's that simple. But how much cash do you keep aside? Now, from what I recall, like the original Buckets book was talking about like 18 months roughly worth of cash. And generally the financial advisory industry has decided that 3 to 6 months worth of critical expenses ready to go at any time, or 3 to 6 months of the ability to pay your critical expenses to be able to make it. But we're finding out right now through a government shutdown that people just don't have it. What's exposing itself, in my opinion, right now, as I'm reading the news about the number of people on SNAP benefits or how many people are dependent upon paychecks that can't even make it to the next paycheck without having something to supplement it. Well, I think about this and I think, well, the buckets actually work for everybody. My son's 23 years old. He's going to graduate from college this year. He's going to receive a little bit of money from an inheritance, and I'm really encouraging him to do 2 things. One is set aside cash for something unexpected, not for something necessarily just fun, so you can then make an investment that will last a long time. It's like, Dad, what should I buy? And I said, it doesn't matter, Cooper, because you could buy McDonald's stock for all it matters. You just want to hold something for a period of time, have the compound growth, get the dividends paying into it. Maybe you reinvest the dividends, but that is going to create really good investor behavior, because behavior will determine whether or not you can stick to the buckets. Now, the buckets are just a better way for you to be able to visualize the strategy. And the strategy is kind of like being in the military. Repetition doesn't necessarily make you comfortable in the situation, but it does start to give you a strategy for what works best in that situation. I don't think too many drill sergeants, if they were taken to a war scenario, are going to be comfortable with bullets flying over their heads either. But they do know the training, which is stay in your foxhole, wait for instructions, objective. That's it. Strategy also needs to be inside your investments. It needs to be inside your financial picture. The financial picture needs to have, my feel on this one, 3 years worth of cash set aside for expected needs. So I'm sitting down with somebody and they're telling me about, let's say they wanted to build a cabin in 2 years. They want to start it. How much money is that going to be? They say, well, we're thinking, we got to put $50,000 in and we're going to have to get a construction loan. I said, okay, great. We're going to set aside $50,000 now. Oh, not yet. No. Well, then your cabin's not within 2 years. How about you having the ability to pay if all your work stopped, if your paycheck stopped? How often does this occur? Well, it seems to occur a lot, being that I'm a financial advisor, and a lot of people seem to lose jobs and then they call me. So I'm more the recovery guy, right? The guy that actually has to put the puzzle pieces back together and figure out a way to make it work. Now, I love that. I'm a puzzle master. That's what I love to do. I like to have complicated cases where I get to have estate and taxes and weird family members to try to navigate a great plan into, but better could be boring. Maybe boring is better. And boring would be that you have roughly 3 years worth of cash set aside. Take that last caller. He says, hey, I'm retired now. And so he could survive some amount of time. He already knows what his backup resource is, the 401k. But the first caller, Jason, he's new in his job. He doesn't have it yet. This is a time when you make mistakes. I told my son the same thing. You're 23, you're going to get more money than you need. If you're ever going to make a mistake, now's the time to make the mistake versus when it's critical to you. You're 55, 60 years old. You've got critical mass. You're working toward a retirement. And whoa, lo and behold, you're laid off, furloughed, whatever it might be. The reference in the last phone call is, hey, at some point, you're going to have to start making better decisions. And that first decision might be that you got to get back to work. Well, if you're out of cash and you can't make it more than one paycheck and you haven't lost your job, then take this as notice. Make the change. Start doing something different in your financial plan to make sure that you don't end up being the topic of one of these phone calls. But to say that all SNAP benefits are bad or they're misused or any of that is a generalization that I think is highly focused on by political parties, but not reality. Reality is, and if you could Google this all you want, use your chat GPT to all the research you want to do, but it's been widely said that roughly 10% of the world's population is unable to care for themselves completely, and in some cases at all. So if that's the case, then 90% of the people are going to be helping the other 10% of the people. And that's probably going to just be perpetual. It's just a part of society. Some people don't have, I guess, the intellectual capacity to work at the same level as the rest of the population. They just got dealt different cards. That's all there is to it. But then some people also seem to choose it. I remember going back into the Great Recession, people coming to me saying, hey, I bought these rental properties. They're highly leveraged up. The properties aren't worth much money now, so I'm thinking about just defaulting. And I remember that, broadcasting at that time too, and how opinionated a lot of people were, saying, well, this is an obligation you took. You got to pay it back. Even if you owe $400,000 on a house that's now being reported as being valued at $300,000. I said, well, hold on a second, because if you don't hold the banks responsible for making willy-nilly stupid loans, then how will they ever learn? So it does go both ways. It really does go both ways. And to me, that became a conundrum that I didn't know the perfect answer to. It was case by case. I would say with some people, they were just voluntarily wanting to give up on that. And then they were looking at, how long does it take for my credit to clear? And, is this a full default without a bankruptcy? And then, what are the HUD rules on when they can qualify for another loan and all these things? And the fact is case by case was probably the best way to look at it. Because in some cases, it was, I've learned my lesson, and I believed it. So I'd help them. But what do you think? 979-59-MONEY is the phone line. That's 979-596-6639. And then tell me about your cash resources. Do you have enough to be able to survive? And I had asked earlier in the program saying if you're still working, because that is critical. Because the last phone call, he's in a different stage in his life. He sounds like he's always been in a different way in his life. He's worked hard. Some people are just like that. I believe that I'm like that too. I took my first job. I was like 12 years old doing construction site cleanup, riding my bicycle from one to the next and carrying a pair of gloves in my back pocket. My job was to throw 2x4s and nails into a dumpster. It was great. I got some extra cash. I was selling greeting cards in my spare time. That was just my mindset. But that doesn't make me better, or does it? It just makes me more productive. 979-59-MONEY. What's your viewpoint on the government shutdown? Who's causing it? Is this Democrats or Republicans? Is this them? When should it end? Should they hold out much longer? TheRealMoneyPros.com. That's how you find me. I'm Brian Wiley. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back.
The Real Money Pros is hosted by Brian Wiley and other team members of Tree City Advisors of Apollon. Tree City Advisors of Apollon is a DBA of Apollon Wealth Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor and affiliate of the Real Money Pros. The Real Money Pros and Tree City of Apollon are not affiliated with any of the companies or non-advisor professionals participating on this program. Ataraxis PEO and Apollon Wealth Management are financial sponsors of the Real Money Pros. Additionally, Apollon receives advisory fees for these sponsors and or their representatives for investment advice. Log into therealmoneypros.com to contact the host for advice, show archives, educational material, and more. This program is brought to you by the quality sponsors heard within this broadcast.
Businesses today face a barrage of challenges. They hunt for top talent, the search for the right benefits package, and the ever-rising tide of healthcare rates. Ataraxis takes the time to learn about your business, crafting personalized solutions to help you and your team succeed. Ataraxis partners with businesses of all sizes and industries. Their mission? To reduce the stress and risk that comes with business owners trying to do it themselves. Visit ataraxispeo.com. Ataraxis, elevating businesses for the benefit of all. Apollon Wealth Management has helped me and my team change the way we conduct our advisory business. The result? We believe we are better equipped to provide the highest level of quality financial planning, investment management, and comprehensive financial advice than ever before. Apollon has been instrumental in our efforts to assist clients in achieving their distinctive financial objectives. If you're an advisor seeking to improve your client experience or an investor seeking to elevate your wealth management to a higher personal standard, contact us at The Real Money Pros. That's TheRealMoneyPros.com. Imagine financial advice without a sales pitch to buy something. Imagine a long-term financial plan focused on your goals, not your investment professionals. At Tree City Advisors, we do things a bit differently than our peers. First, we help you define your purpose for investing. We help you clean up messes and complicated financial issues from your past, empowering you with knowledge, lower fees, and confidence. We design simple, effective investment strategies, and we teach you how it can all work without clutter, confusion, or high costs. Welcome to Tree City Advisors of Apollon. This is the way we think of financial advisors should work for their clients. At Tree City Advisors of Apollon, we provide flat-fee financial planning and training. We also offer full-service asset-based investment management, and we employ do-it-yourself technologies. Visit treecityadvisors.com. There's never a fee for an initial meeting or review, so let's get started. Learn more at treecityadvisors.com. Advisory services offered through Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Apollon, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Are you in the market to buy a house or just looking to refinance your current mortgage? For helping individuals and families achieve affordable homeownership, Academy Mortgage is a first choice. And when finding that perfect loan for the perfect home, you need a company that will treat you like family, not just another file. To help you navigate through today's ever-changing housing market, Academy Mortgage has zero down options available to you. That includes zero down with no mortgage insurance. We also offer medical professional loans and 2-1 rate buy-downs that help lower your monthly payment for the first several years of your loan. Origination, processing, underwriting, and closing and funding will all happen in-house. With over 34 years in the business, we know that buying a home is more than just a house. That's why it's important we protect our customers and safeguard their financial wellness for years to come. Visit us online at academymortgage.com today to start your journey to homeownership with Academy Mortgage. That's academymortgage.com. Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
To offer valuable advice and earn clients' trust as an advisor, it's essential to always put their interests ahead of personal gain or the preferences of any particular company. Advisor Insurance Solutions is dedicated to delivering insurance solutions from an advisory perspective. They provide objective and unbiased insurance planning, making it an integral part of their comprehensive advisory process. If you're looking for insurance guidance that aligns with your financial goals, visit therealmoneypros.com. That's therealmoneypros.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Running out of gift ideas for your loved one? Send flowers with Flower Fix. A need to create joy in your living or workspace? With many working from home these days, create joy in your space with flowers. Flower Fix is a subscription-based flower delivery service perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, or any special occasion. We offer 2 subscription options to choose from, a text-based subscription or a traditional one. Enjoy these big, beautiful hand-designed bouquets that are delivered straight from our flower fields to your door. Log on now, www.flowerfix.com, to choose your flowers today. Have control over when you want flowers delivered. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? Get your flower fix at flowerfix.com. Use code FlowerFixPro to receive 20% off your first order. flowerfix.com.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Healthcare expenses can be a burden, so why not make the most out of the money that we'd spend anyway? Take advantage of the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, a health savings account, also known as an HSA. That's why you need Lively. Visit Lively right away. Open your HSA, roll other HSA money into that new plan, and then start saving. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/PRO.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Gallegos with Price for Life. Do you have a life insurance policy that you'd like to sell? If you don't need the coverage anymore or would rather not keep making the premium payments, visit our website, priceforlife.com. Don't let your policy lapse when you can potentially get a cash payment for it. There are several reasons why a life settlement might be a great value to you. Perhaps your policy is too expensive, or you feel you no longer need the death benefit, or you may think you need to wait until death before your family can get the money from the insurance company. This is why you may want to consider a life settlement. Price for Life has excellent resources available along with a free evaluation process to help you understand the value of your policy and the options available to you. Price for Life's clients have received hundreds of thousands of dollars for their policy when they would have otherwise just let it lapse by stopping the premium payments. Get the compensation you deserve. Visit priceforlife.com today and fill out the case evaluation form to see if your policy qualifies. That's price, the number 4, life.com. priceforlife.com.
Real Money Pros is brought to you by The Real Money Pros and the sponsors heard within this broadcast. Material presented on this program may not be suitable for you. Consult a registered investment advisor when evaluating any particular investment, security, or investment strategy. The views, opinions, or advice offered by the hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect those of this station. Brian Wiley and Jeremiah Bates are investment advisor representatives with Apollon Wealth Management, an SEC registered investment advisor. The Real Money Pros with Brian Wiley and Jeremiah Bates, the weekend's smartest money show. Investing, taxes, legal topics, insurance, and every other confusing money topic made simple.
Well, I think I just did the fastest hour in a long time. One just rolled right through for me. This is The Real Money Pros. My name is Brian Wiley. I'm a financial advisor, fiduciary only, a live financial broadcast here on the weekends. Because where else is your voice going to be heard right now if we're going to talk about the money aspect, the real part of the government shutdown? The government shutdown right now is causing confusion on healthcare benefits, on how do you pay for just your regular bills? What about those folks that are dependent upon benefits from the U.S. government? And we're talking about SNAP benefits, all of it. Are you in that position? Is this affecting you? Because one of the callers in the last hour talked a bit about it, and I've heard this viewpoint. We've all heard the viewpoint, which is the focus on the people who misuse it or that are abusing it, or maybe they just don't believe at all that there should be any sort of public assistance programs. But we have them. And there are people that have learned to depend on them. Just like we had earlier on in this year, we had President Trump shut down the U.S. Aid office, shutting off a lot of different charities around the world that were dependent upon the continuance of this money, which, in my opinion, was probably a pretty good maneuver because, yes, they start to live on the dole for so long that they start to expect it. You know, even raising children, especially when they get to college age, things like that, you want to see them start appreciating it more, right? But then they're used to it. They're dependent upon it. You're asking for them to recognize something that you've trained them to not recognize. Right now, our society has trained people that you're going to get something. You're going to get something. Like I said in the last hour, it makes no sense to me, but this is the case because I work and live my entire career inside this world where we have a progressive tax system, supposedly, but it's actually regressive in the way that we're taxed. Those who make the least pay the greatest portion first to FICA taxes and so on. It's expensive to them, but then because their income is within that FICA threshold and they have to pay all of their income, 7.65% of it is subject to FICA taxes. People who make a lot more money are not subject to that. So why don't we instead start the benefits at a level and try to have these people stay off of the public assistance, which also keeps them out of the public's purview on how they live their lives. But that's not the way we do it. Politically, both sides want their constituents to be dependent upon them. It worked. We're dependent upon them. If you want to make lots of money right now, you're really leaning toward one aisle. If you are not making much money right now, you're really leaning to the other side of the aisle. And we vote for needs. Take, for example, the fight that's going to happen sometime in the next couple years. But this has been punted and punted and punted to the point where I've even had senators and congressmen and women in front of me, and I've asked them the same question, which is, when are you going to start fixing Social Security? You're waiting until the end, till this becomes a political football that now is under the threat to many people, 40% as many people, of receiving Social Security benefits that are relying on those Social Security benefits. Which way do you think they're going to vote? Do you think they're going to vote for anything other than the continuance of their benefits, even if it means that we have to tax the working even more? And the employers even more. 15.3% right now. That's your Medicare and your Social Security tax coming out of your paycheck, assuming you make roughly $175,000 or less. But then you're dependent upon the system. In fact, if you have income somewhere in that range or less, and you actually have a sizable family, 3 kids, 2 kids, you actually qualify for affordable care Act benefits, known as the Advanced Premium Tax Credit, to some degree. Now, as a financial advisor and as a fiduciary, I've always had to work with clients, even when I disagree with the programs I help them get qualified for. Why would you do this? Well, because I'm a fiduciary. It's in their best interest. My feel on the ACA since the very beginning was it was not very well thought out. The funding plan sucks, and it will eventually fail because of accessibility is too high. It's for too many. If they're going to fix the healthcare scenario, it was not with the ACA. The only way to make it fail was to use the program. And so while I had clients that said, well, we're not going to do that, we totally disagree with it, they're martyrs. That is costing them thousands and thousands of dollars extra a year that they wouldn't otherwise need to spend. And if you hate the program so much, you might as well be using it to see it get dismantled. Fine. However you want to see it. I work as a fiduciary. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I go back to the BetterBuckets, which is there was a smart way to be able to handle this furlough, the layoff, or any of the unexpected events, assuming that they're not completely like third standard deviation weird things like COVID. But you should be able to handle a job loss for a few months. You should have a pretty good idea of where you would go. We do this in the back of our minds, should always keep it there. Oh, but I love the company I work for. The company's solvent. They're great. Oh, yeah. Okay, a lot of the people that worked for WorldCom thought the same thing. Enron, they thought the company was great. They had no idea of the shenanigans that was happening in the C-suites. But it caught up to them. I had a client back in, this must have been about 2004, somewhere in there. He was young, too. He's in his late 40s at the time, working for WorldCom. 100% of his retirement savings was in WorldCom stock, incentivized to buy it inside the qualified plan. Company goes bankrupt. Guess what happens to the stock value? Guess what happened to the 401k? His retirement was smoked. He was making good money with the company. I think he was this is back in like 2004, 2005. I believe his pay package was close to $200,000 a year. So he was a highly compensated employee that couldn't find a job. In fact, he found himself to be almost unemployable because he was just too smart for anything that was locally available. So you got to end up on benefits. He actually came to my attention because he had called and said, hey, remember you reviewed all my life insurance policies and stuff? He goes, I need to talk to you about some of them. He came in, and I just noticed that his demeanor was low. His, I guess, personal confidence seemed to be destroyed. His general comments about things, he was trying to conceal the fact that he wanted to make sure that his life insurance would pay if something were to happen to him. Well, it turned out he was planning that something to happen to him to occur later that evening, actually. I had asked him, and I had asked my business partner, his name is Garrow. I said, Garrow, will you come in here, hang out with us, and we're going to have a conversation. It turned into a very emotional meeting. His wife later showed up, and this was suicide watch. This is how money is actually viewed by many people. It's make or break. It makes or breaks marriages, families. People do weird things because of it, for it. Greed, fear, all of it. Where do you sit with things? 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. But yeah, it's time for a little bit of a change up. But at what point do we allow the government shutdown to continue? Democrats saying it's the Republicans, Republicans saying it's the Democrats. I would just point at Congress and say, it's upon you now to end it. Take notice. Yes, we take notice of what your arguments are. We see it. But now it's getting to the point where some people are probably not going to survive through it. And I mean that even in a life and death situation. You could become pretty depressed. Have you ever ran out of money before? I have. I did it several times. In fact, I became really good at it. And I was doing it in my college years where I was saving. I did the best I could to save for tuition. And I would go off at some points and work and not go to school for a semester to save money for the tuition for the next semester or 2 semesters. And then I was always working at least a full-time job while I was going to college. Never went to a college football game or anything having to do with the university. I didn't have time. I had to work. But I wasn't complaining. It was just the way I had to roll. I didn't qualify for any loans or anything like that. Didn't get any grants. I just had to do it. My mindset is just different. survival mode has always been my mode, and I kind of like it there. It's where I thrive. I actually enjoy opportunity. I like risk and reward. Some people don't. How about you? And have you saved for it? Could you handle a liquidity event such as losing your job? I'll take phone calls after the break here. Phone lines are open, 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I mean, think about healthcare benefits and the confusion that's out there. You've got questions. I've got answers. I just don't know what your questions are until you call the program. But I do have advice, and the advice is always so simple. You wouldn't believe this, but even those BetterBuckets that I talk about that I teach to brand new investors, to young folks like my son, he's 23. I want to teach that to him. I use those same buckets with people who have much more money than I've got, than I'll ever have, and it still functions. Those same buckets I've now submitted to Congress as a fix for Social Security. I'll be right back.
Make this year that you work smarter, not harder with Ataraxis. As your strategic partner, Ataraxis becomes an extension of your business, taking the burden of HR, payroll, benefits, workers' compensation, compliance, and staffing off your plate. You'll have more time to focus on operating and growing your business. Let Ataraxis handle the details so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at ataraxis.com. That's ATARAXIS.com.
As we age, managing our finances can become increasingly complex with ever-changing tax laws, estate planning, insurance needs, and investment environments. At Apollon Wealth Management, their goal is simple: to help enrich your life with personalized, expert financial advice. With a nationwide network of advisors, they're committed to delivering the best solutions for your financial future. It's time to take control and get the guidance you deserve. Connect with an advisor today by visiting The Real Money Pros. That's therealmoneypros.com.
Looking to make your dream of home ownership a reality? Look no further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. Academy strives to offer the best rates and terms tailored to your financial situation. At Academy Mortgage, you'll be treated like family, not just another file. Navigating today's ever-changing housing market can be challenging, but their team is here to help. Experience the zero-down options, including loans with no mortgage insurance. They also provide specialized medical professional loans and unique 2-to-1 rate buydowns that reduce your monthly payment for the first initial years of your loan. And forget about dealing with brokers and middlemen. With Academy Mortgage, everything happens in-house, from origination to funding. Say goodbye to hassles and surprises. Begin your home ownership journey today by visiting them online at academymortgage.com. That's academymortgage.com.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
This open enrollment, start making meaningful progress towards your long-term financial goals. Did you know that a health savings account, or HSA, is the most tax-advantaged account in the U.S.? Contributions are tax deductible, which reduces your total taxable income. Withdrawals for eligible health expenses are also tax-free. And last, capital gains on investments are also tax-free. Did we also mention that it's free for individuals? Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/pro.
And now, back to the Real Money Pros.
I am back. This is The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. If you need a great financial advisor, somebody that we vetted, that understands BetterBuckets, then contact us. Go to therealmoneypros.com. We're going to connect you to Apollon Wealth Management, their network of advisors, excellent advisors, by the way. Maybe not all of them. I don't know. I haven't met them all, but I've met the ones that I really believe are excellent. And when it comes to tax planning, or you've got special situation with estate planning and whatever it might be, we can find the right expert to help you. And if you need somebody locally there to be able to meet face-to-face, we probably know somebody that's a part of the Apollon Wealth Management Group. And if not, we'll find other options for you. So please, contact us. Go to therealmoneypros.com. That's all I'm selling you. That's it. Selling you good advice, giving you good advice here on the air. When I talk about the political gamesmanship that's going on, money motivates. And it motivates a voter base. It motivates just about everybody. Whether you're making it, losing it, it motivates. Money speaks. I thought it was part of the genius of the Trump administration earlier this year to force tariffs on all things that were bought as imports, because that forces Americans to recognize where we're spending our money. And if you have that now, because motivated by money, the loss of it or the paying of more of it, well, then take notice. Money motivates. Money's motivating people right now. We have many that are frustrated with the government shutdown to the point where they just simply want it to end. Or maybe it's because they're directly related to it. I'm going to take a phone call here. I've got Sarah on the line. Sarah, what can I do for you? Oh, Ashley on the line. I'm sorry. Let me get Ashley. Ashley, what can I do for you?
Hi, I am calling because I'm obviously seeking a little bit of advice.
Sure.
I got divorced a few years ago, and I kept the home that we had. I have a lot of equity in my house, and I am finally to the point now where I feel like I'm stable enough to either refinance or do a HELOC.
Oh, nice.
I'm wanting to do some home improvements, and I have some debts to pay off, and so I'm kind of trying to figure out what might be the better option, and I'm feeling like there's some pros and cons to both.
Yeah. Ashley, a few questions for you. You've owned your home. You've got equity in the house. How much equity?
Yes.
How much?
Roughly $300,000.
Okay. And you owe roughly how much?
Roughly $110,000 at the moment.
And what's the finance rate on that $110,000?
It's like 4%, 4.2, I think.
Okay. Have you, do you have a good relationship with your bank?
Yes. Yeah. I looked into it with them, and it was going to be around 5.3% for the refinance. I haven't looked as much into the HELOC, and so that's where I'm just trying to figure out what might be the better.
Okay, well, I don't see a single reason to refinance that $110,000 note that is you're getting charged at very low interest rate. So if you replace that, you're just going to move it to a higher interest rate. Second is you mentioned that you're going to be paying off some old debts. What kind of debts or what kind of spending caused those debts?
So it's some that are left over from marital, and it's IRS is one of them, which is a high percentage rate, which would be nice to get that down. I'm paying on that monthly currently, but it's just not paying down very quickly.
Yeah.
And then I just have some smaller revolving, credit card debts, but nothing big, a few thousand on those.
Well, if you stretch out that IRS debt to a HELOC, then you're really going to be not paying it off very quickly. At least right now, you're motivated to pay it off a little bit more quickly because it's got a higher rate attached to it. And I think you're probably done with the idea of getting IRS tax debts, meaning that's not really the problem. Now, the problem would be more efficiencies with the use of the money. And so if you stretch that out, even if it's a relatively low interest rate and you stretch it out over a 10-year payment, whatever it's going to be on the HELOC, well, then you're just making a debt that you would have otherwise had paid off, I'm going to guess, in the next couple of years, right?
I don't think so. It is about $12,000 in debt.
Okay.
For the IRS.
Ashley, is your job stable?
Yes.
Okay. And are you making decent money?
I am now. So that's part of what's prompted this is in the last few months I did get a promotion.
Okay.
And so I am making better money now than I was previously as a teacher.
Are you making more money than you're spending?
Yes.
Okay. Establish a HELOC. Don't use it. Just save the extra money that you're now getting and pay off that debt. It'll be the most rewarding feeling that you're going to feel when you accomplish that savings and you pay it off on your own. Yeah, I mean, it will be a difference maker for you. It'll help you gain confidence. Are you saving inside of a 401k or a deferred retirement plan right now?
I have Percy.
Okay, which is your state's pension plan, right?
Correct.
And
yes.
that's from your teaching years. Is that still being used now as your new job involving your state government?
It is still, yes. I just moved into an administration role, so I'm still contributing to Percy.
Okay. Is that in what state? Idaho, right?
Idaho.
Okay, Idaho.
Yes.
So there's a mandatory contribution that's happening on your behalf with Percy as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
If you needed to slow down your contributions into your long-term bucket to be able to fill up your short-term bucket, that is what I would prefer to see you do. So what percentage of your income is going to your Percy 401k?
I honestly do not know.
Okay. Well, maybe you're doing nothing. Or
I am doing something because it is mandatory. It just comes directly out of my check, and so I'm not really having to worry too much about it.
Okay, so you're doing the minimum.
But it is going into that pension each month.
Okay, yeah, you're doing the minimum amount. All right. I'm trying to find you some other cost savings. Are you healthy generally?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you have health insurance through the state that allows you to fund up an HSA, health savings account?
I have insurance through my workplace, and I actually have open enrollment starting tomorrow, so I could look at the HSA. I don't know if that's one of my options.
Well,
or not,
it will be one of your options, and it'll be your ability to fund up a health savings account, which is completely tax-free savings if you use it for healthcare expenses. Cool thing about it is you can pay yourself back for other healthcare expenses that you've already incurred, and you just take the money back out. So that will save you money in taxes. That tax savings amount could easily be added to your debt, meaning we can find efficiencies in what you're doing without leaning on another loan, refinancing a home. Like, you're so close to paying off your home, $110,000. How much is your monthly payment?
It's $868.
Oh, yeah. I want to actually meet with you, Ashley, because it's a fun one because we're just going to shift around some numbers, make things a little bit more efficient, and help you get to paying these things off without having to use a loan. Now, if you use a loan to be able to make improvements on your home, that's a little different. If you're using the loan to pay off old debts, that could be a bad habit. And that's what I'm trying to help you avoid that, because you might actually have more available cash flow than you're aware of. We just got to take a deeper look at paychecks and where your money is right now. Hopefully, are you sitting on any savings at the bank?
I'm not right now. No, I'm working out. Like I said, I just got almost double of my salary. And so it's been about 3 months. And so it's just sort of getting to the point now where I can build on that.
Thanks for the call. Certainly appreciate it. I got to take a break, but loans are not the answer.
Yeah.
Apollon Wealth Management has transformed the way our team delivers financial advice. With their support, we're more equipped and more empowered than ever to provide top-tier financial planning, investment management, and personalized financial guidance. Apollon has been a key partner in helping us achieve our clients' unique financial goals. Whether you're an advisor looking to enhance your client experience or an investor ready to take your wealth management to the next level, reach out today to The Real Money Pros by visiting therealmoneypros.com. Let's elevate your financial future today.
I'm Nick Daniels with Tree City Advisors of Apollon. My team and I help our clients implement tax-smart strategies because taxes are one of the largest headwinds your investments face. We use strategies like Roth conversions, 1031 exchanges, and more because a good advisor should help you with more than just investment selection. Visit us today at treecityadvisors.com or call us at 208-888-1244.
Advisory services offered through Apollon Wealth Management, LLC, DBA Tree City Advisors of Apollon, an investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
As a financial advisor, I often see that many families I meet with end up paying way too much money in taxes. If a healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but high annual premium, why wouldn't they look at a high deductible insurance plan instead? They could save on their premiums and put those saved dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown tax-free and then then use tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses. That's why you need Lively. Our favorite because it's simple, fast, and free. I use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. Visit Lively right away. You can even roll over your existing HSA money into this new plan and start saving right away. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/PRO. Lively is a proud sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
Begin your home ownership journey today. Look no further than Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender. And forget about dealing with brokers and middlemen. With Academy Mortgage, everything happens in-house, from origination to funding. Say goodbye to hassles and surprises. Their team of seasoned professionals will be with you every step of the way. That's academymortgage.com. Academy Mortgage, your first choice home loan lender.
Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, is an equal housing lender.
Imagine financial advice without a sales pitch to buy something, and imagine a long-term financial plan focused on your goals, not somebody else's, and the day that you can leave your broker because you know how to do things on your own. At Tree City Advisors, we do things a bit differently than our peers. First, we help you define your purpose for investing. We help you clean up messes or complicated financial issues from your past. We help you organize all your financial pieces into something manageable. We're a fiduciary-only firm, and we design simple strategies. And we teach you how it all works without clutter, confusion, or high cost. We can either do your investments for you or we can teach you how to do them on your own. In the end, we empower you with knowledge, lower fees, and confidence. Welcome to Tree City Advisors. This is the way we think if financial advisors should work for their clients. At Tree City Advisors, we provide flat fee planning and training. We also offer full service asset management, and we employ do-it-yourself technologies. There's never a fee for an initial meeting or review, so let's get started. Learn more at treecityadvisors.com. Tree City Advisors is an SEC registered investment advisor.
You're listening to The Real Money Pros.
I am back. This is The Real Money Pros, therealmoneypros.com. The program doesn't broadcast on Sundays, or it may at some of the radio stations on tape delay, but it's live right now. 979-59-MONEY. That's the phone line. Or you can visit us online, go to The Real Money Pros. That works 7 days a week. And we've got a really neat team. I got to say this about them because I'm alone today on the program and I can talk about them, which is Jeremiah Bates, for example, my normal co-host on the program. He's out elk hunting right now. I'm wishing him the best. It's his third elk hunt. He's never even seen one yet, I don't believe, out in the wild. He trains for this thing for months. These guys are like goats going up and down the hill. He's with Nick Daniels, one of the other advisors in the office, and they're out there doing that right now. My team is so solid. They are the best financial advisors I've ever been able to be around. And I didn't make them that way. I share ideas with them. It's the willingness to learn that has been the cultural difference that made my little financial advisor firms do well, which was everybody actually genuinely cares about the people. And I just took a phone call from Ashley, which I'm concerned, Ashley, that here's the way this is very common, which is people will get a big pay raise and then they start spending it. And they'll spend it with debt because they know they're going to have higher pay in the future. And because the higher pay in the future means that, oh, yeah, I feel good about this. I'm going to go out there and buy that new car now. But why isn't there that mindset of, I got this more pay going on right now, so I'm going to shore up my savings account so I never even would have needed the loan in the first place. Second is, maybe that car will be better once I feel like I walked in there and I had negotiating power and I had cash and I was able to just pay for the vehicle. Can you imagine that? How good would that feel? I was looking through I'm trying to find some good stats to be able to read off on the air here today, and I found one. And I'm not going to even say he's a competitor. He's not a competitor. I'd say he's one of the masters, and I usually do not talk about other hosts on this program, but Dave Ramsey, his job, and he does a fantastic job with it. We don't even broadcast on the same network, so I'm not sure how my network is going to feel that I even say this right now, but his job is to get you out of the spin. There's a financial spin that happens with people where their bad habits keep them in the spin. It's the same thing with SNAP benefits for all that matters. This is where, from the outside looking in, it's easy to say, here's what the fix is, right? But I said to Ashley, I said, well, what I want to do is actually have a conversation with you. I want to look at her in the eyes and reinforce what she's done. She went from a school teacher, low pay, to a better paying position. And she's feeling that reward. Right now, she needs to feel the reward by good pats on the back. Good job. Now, you save some money, and then you'll get yourself into a better position. Better than now, even. See, my job on the Real Money Pros hasn't been so much, I can't focus on just trying to get people out of the spin. Well, first of all, there's not a lot of money in that unless you sell a lot of books. But the reality is I'm here to help you actually create wealth. What is wealth? My description of wealth is when you have that extra dollar that doesn't have a purpose. Like it is not necessary to go anywhere. It's not needed anywhere. It's wanted in a whole bunch of places. That's wealth. You have discretion. Now, on that website, they do a personal finance in America study. And what they found out their study, which I don't know how good this study is. I scrolled to the bottom of this, and it said they survey only 1,017 households. And they did this in June of this year. But it says 52% of U.S. adults say that they worry daily about their finances. Are you part of that group? 60% of Americans are still optimistic that they'll achieve their money goals, right? Over time. But how many people are not actually achieving their goals? And this is where the numbers start to get pretty scary. Over 70% are saying that they struggle every month and they do not feel that they're in a good financial position. Does that mean the only other 30% is where I'm targeting for people to listen to this program? The answer is no. I want to catch people like Ashley, who are already making things work, but she's sitting upon a decision where a little guidance is all she needs, and she's willing to ask for it, which seems to be a more rare quality. Are we too prideful? Or do we just not offer enough assistance? Like, think about this. Caller earlier in the prior hour, he's already at the tail end of his career. His advice and what has worked for him is working hard, working really hard. Military, postal service, and he's put himself into a financial position. He's a mentor. You've got ideas to share, and I don't think we share good ideas enough with people. Instead, we want to charge money for everything, or we're just going to keep it close to the vest, not share that. I want to share the good ideas with you here on the program. It's a good idea, in my opinion, for Ashley to at least have the conversation to see what she can do to personally finance her goals. She wants to improve her house. Does she need to? That's a question I'd ask her. Like, is there a toilet that's not working or a shower you can't use? Do you have black mold in the home? Okay, these are needs, but I want a new kitchen. I wish I could have a great deck outside, a patio to entertain my friends or hang out during the summer. Okay, well, you don't have it yet, but you're making the income that you will have it soon. So this is cool because you know how much more rewarding it's going to be. The luster wears off of everything after about 3 years, I've noticed. I've had new vehicles in the past, and about 3 years later, you're looking around at the other vehicles that are now out in the markets, whatever it might be, that the luster wears off. In financing, it just proves it. Just about every time. If you've got a 5-year loan on your vehicle, in fact, if you did 7 or 8 years, 5-year loan, you're tired of that vehicle the last 2 years of your payments. I think almost everybody says that. Maybe you're not the person that says it. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I like new things too. But I've been trained to have this strategy that says that I have to save for it, that it's a goal. And that's the exact same strategy I'm talking about when we're talking about buckets and BetterBuckets or whatever it might be. It's our method. And this method, while it's visual, it works. Why does it work? I learned the hard way in the Great Recession about having only 18 months to be able to make it without a paycheck because I had many clients that went longer without a paycheck. 3 years, that was the mark. Markets generally recover in an 18-month cycle. 3 years was going to give me some third standard deviation room with clients to be able to handle things like COVID. What about AI that's coming up? How many people in your household are going to lose their jobs because of AI? None. Nobody's ever going to take that job. I can tell you just about every government job should be looked at for AI replacement because a lot of government jobs are just processing paperwork or things that are seen on a screen that easily a computer program that is capable now could take that job over. You have companies like Amazon that have said that they're going to replace tens of thousands of jobs with AI. They're already doing it with robotics. Are you going to be prepared for this? And then better yet, how could you actually take advantage of the situation and make it better for you? See, that's the wealth side of it, which is, well, then you need to start finding ways to invest in it. I've said this since roughly April, which is Elon Musk has one goal only. He wants to get a person on Mars and make humans multiplanetary. That's what he says. And if you look at everything he does, Tesla, AI technology, battery technology, SpaceX, The Boring Company, which is learning to mine using machines that are autonomous. He is setting himself up. Everything he does just gets him closer to that big dream. He's got a lot of money, got a lot of power, and he is motivated. So I've said it. Just take notice what he's interested in, whether you like him or not. You might want to consider the fact that he's got enough money, time, and commitment to make it work. You don't even know why you'd want one of his humanoid robots in your home yet. He'll show you a reason later. He was a little early maybe with Tesla, but is he? I was looking up Tesla vehicles. The most American-made vehicle with American content in it happens to be a Tesla. Roughly 87.5% of their Model 3, from what I've seen online, is content from the United States. He's probably one of the more American people that I've seen, even though some people disagree with him. Some people agree with him. He's gotten himself into politics. Sometimes, I wonder what he's saying, why he's saying it, things like that. But take advantage of this. The AI revolution, is there a bubble? Yeah, I think there's a bubble. There's a bubble probably because guys like Sam Altman with ChatGPT, OpenAI, very few people are going to control this, NVIDIA being a big player in it. And so you've got these other little companies that want to participate. And at some point, some of these companies are going to find out that they couldn't make it work, that they were overpowered by the other industry players with the bigger money. They got a quicker start or more advanced start. Eventually, there will be a bubble, but that doesn't mean that everything in the bubble bursts. The only way to really take advantage of it is to probably look at the entire group. You could get selective if you need to, but develop a strategy and start socking away money. It's the only way to think about the future. And socking away money, whether it's in a savings account, long-term account, it should be done using some sort of a bucket strategy. I had sent this to Congress. There are senators and congressmen, House representatives, that actually have my plan in their hand right now. But guess what? Crickets. They all say it's a really important thing, but it's a political football they don't want to talk about. But it uses short-term, mid-term, and long-term money, income objectives, growth objectives, and it would fix the Social Security system. But sometimes we just want what we have. We want to be able to get it right now, right? But that's coming back to burn us. What are your thoughts? This is Real Money Pros.
Businesses today face a barrage of challenges. They hunt for top talent, the search for the right benefits package, and the ever-rising tide of healthcare rates. And putting together the right team to run your HR-related tasks can be expensive, let alone time-consuming. Enter Ataraxis PEO, your professional employer organization ready to tackle all your HR needs from payroll to benefits administration, payroll services, workers' compensation, and talent recruiting. They've got you covered. With Ataraxis, you gain access to a team of experts who handle the nitty-gritty of HR, freeing you up to focus on what you do best, growing your business and growing your revenue. Ataraxis takes the time to learn about your business, crafting personalized solutions to help you and your team succeed. So say goodbye to the stress of HR administration and hello to Ataraxis. Experience the power of a true business partner with Ataraxis PEO. Visit ataraxispeo.com. That's ATARAXISPEO.com. Ataraxis, elevating businesses for the benefit of all.
Have you ever met with a financial advisor looking for some advice just to leave being sold an annuity you didn't want? At Tree City Advisors of Apollon, we do things a bit differently. We focus on your financial goals, helping you fix past mistakes, simplify your current finances, and plan for the future with confidence. Your first consultation is always free and without obligation. Visit treecityadvisors.com and start your journey to financial freedom now. That's treecityadvisors.com.
As a financial advisor, I often see that many families I meet with end up paying way too much money in taxes. If a healthy family has an insurance plan with a low deductible but high annual premium, why wouldn't they look at a high deductible insurance plan instead? They could save on their premiums and put those saved dollars into a health savings account, also known as an HSA. It's the most powerful tax advantage account title available to us, so why not use it? Take advantage of pre-tax money that could be grown tax-free and then use tax-free for all of your qualified healthcare expenses. That's why you need Lively, our favorite because it's simple, fast, and free. I use it, my colleagues use it, and I recommend it to all of my clients. Visit Lively right away. You can even roll over your existing HSA money into this new plan and start saving right away. I know you're going to love the entire experience. Visit livelyme.com/pro today. That's livelyme.com/PRO. Lively is a proud sponsor of the Real Money Pros.
And we're back to the Real Money Pros.
I am back. This is Real Money Pros. Sorry, I had the mute button down. Go to therealmoneypros.com. Find us. Please call the program if you've got questions. I'm here for you. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. Calling out of Florida. I've got Tony on the line. Tony, do you have some experience with SNAP benefits?
Yeah, I do. How you doing today?
Fantastic, and thanks for the call. What side of this argument are you on?
Well, originally I was on the side of getting SNAP benefits. So I was relying on that for 2 years, and then it got cut to a certain point where I had to go back to work. And as it turned out, I'm making more now because I eat every day. Listen with cream, listen with that, listen with this, with the whole week. Every day they had to go back in after that. Without coming out on the other side and theirs before with the pussy here and there.
So they were helpful to you, and you got through a period of time. I just the caller dropped, so I somehow lost him, and but understood. And that was really the reasons. Like if you think about it, charities were largely responsible for food banks and so on. And oftentimes they were connected to churches. And then those churches would have standards that you'd have to fit in. Maybe it was that you had to follow their faith or whatever it's going to be able to be eligible. But enough people complained about that, said some people don't want to be a part of the church or whatever it is. So then you've got the advent of these social programs where it just comes from the government. Now, it's long been my opinion on this one, which is the best way for somebody to receive assistance is to do it face to face. There is something that happens when you're able to help somebody and that person is able to receive that help. It's impactful. When you receive it in a credit card or whatever it's going to be, it takes away all of that, which is who's giving it and who's receiving it. And that connection's gone when you have these as social benefits. But on the other hand, to say that they're not necessary is, look at that. Sometimes it's not a handout. It is assistance to get back on your feet so you can be a good tax-paying and participant in our society. Well, that's what we would like to think that the benefits are for. And I think largely the people who are receiving those are probably people that don't want to receive them for much longer. They're not proud of them. But yeah, you could focus on them at the grocery store and say that person's buying ice cream and beer with whatever benefits that they've got, which I don't even know if it's possible because luckily I haven't found myself to get to that point. The government shutdown at this point is pure showmanship, in my opinion. The notice has been made. We all understand what they're fighting for. We understand this. But as citizens, we need to get it going again. It's affecting so many people that now understand that maybe they don't want to stay in their government job, but they got to go out there and look. They need to be paid for the work that they've done. Air traffic controllers, I heard that last call too as well, where he had said, he's still showing up at work. He's sworn an oath to protect the Constitution, to serve U.S. citizens and taxpayers and keep our airways safe. I think it's a situation right now that is easily solvable when voters, which we've all been enlisted, we're all motivated now because this is affecting our money collectively. Each and every person is now in this fight. Put the notice out. Vote that way. Become interested. Are you actually going to vote the elections, local elections that are happening here in this next week? And I would say a lot of people, the answer is no. They don't pay attention. Or they'll just circle the letter or the person's name that sits next to the letter that they think they identify themselves with. Get involved. Or don't vote on the issues and let those who are going to research the issues, let them vote on it. I guess. The Real Money Pros, it's what we've designed as far as the system goes and our strategy here. It is about your personal responsibility and doing something from, the way that I had talked or had learned about. It was stewardship is the way that it was referred. And I think that even Ramsey talks about it there, which is, you're giving gifts. Use those gifts wisely. Share those gifts with others. Share the education, the knowledge, whatever it might be. Be a mentor to other people. But this idea that we're trying to make people dependent upon a system is dirty politics. It's dirty politics. Do we have an income disparity problem here in the United States? And my answer to this one would be, yeah, we certainly do, but I don't know what the solution is. I don't think either side actually wants to solve it. In fact, making a greater income disparity is good for both sides. The wealthy get wealthier, the poor get poorer, more dependent. The best idea that when somebody needs help, that they may get the help, they appreciate the help, and they start making changes. That's what we want. That's the reason why those programs exist. I think we all want to be able to help that single mother that, let's say, lost dad for whatever reasons, that needs to survive and not affect her children too much and create other dependent people. But that can be the case. You could focus on that. Sure, I think it needs to be part of the discussion. But to just straight up, I don't know. You can't just eliminate them. Not if 10% of the population is always going to be dependent upon the support of others. It would just, you got to have something, I would think. 979-59-MONEY. That's 979-596-6639. I don't know what your solution is, but I'd still like to hear it. You can message me. Send a message, brian@therealmoneypros.com. That's my personal email right here. I'll read it. I like to learn different perspectives. Some people think, oh, it's all messed up. Here's the fact. I've gone through all of these different administrations in my career. I mean, Clinton administration, Bush 2, first years, second term. You had Obama first and second. We had Trump first. We had Biden, another term there. We have Trump in a second term now. And I have said this to be steady for sure, which is I will find a way to produce some sort of profit or benefit no matter what administration is theoretically running this country. But I also know that up until recently, we've not seen any presidents with enough enumerated powers to actually make a lot of the changes or what they promised during their campaign. This current president has. He's found ways, even if it means that they're going to start some way and then they're going to end up in court and they're going to lose it that way. He's done it. He's tried. I don't remember a candidate in the past ever that has actually gone through their campaign points and tried to make good on them. This one's doing it. So if you don't like it, you knew it in his first term that this was going to result in this term. You knew that it was going to be more volatile, but did you prepare for it? A government shutdown was almost a part of the script for how this was going to go. He's got both sides of Congress right now, Senate and the House. And the House of Representatives, they can't make decisions because he's done a poor job of trying to manage through this. It's one thing where I'll be critical of our president in this respect, which is his communication skills suck. He should be talking to every American, trying to understand those who didn't vote for him and try to win them over. It's helpful to his party. It should be fairly easy to do. He's pretty good on TV. He's got some experience. There's nothing wrong with having a regular presidential address to Americans to let us know what the fight's about. I don't know how this one's going to shake out, but I do know that you could have been more prepared for it if you are suffering because of it. And if you don't make the changes moving forward, then I shift you off to the 5-day-a-week show with another host that can help you get out of the spin cycle at some point, and then I'll welcome you back when you're ready to actually start making improvements in your life and stop pointing the finger, blaming other people of why you're not doing better. You have the same choices I've got. Same choices. Do you make wise choices? Do you actually change things up? Do you care about what the BetterBuckets are? Like, how complicated is it to go to therealmoneypros.com and find the buckets explainer where one of us is doing it in a video? I think there's probably a 5-minute version, and I know that I did less than a 2-minute version of it that explains to you one of the most simple, complex concepts for investing that I think exists, which is, hey, we're just going to classify your money based on time, when you're going to need it, and that's going to dictate where it's going to go, and that also dictates how it's going to be invested. The amounts that go into each one of those buckets is a calculation that you can figure out on your own. We show you the calculations. It's free, but will you actually take advantage of it? Will you take the next step and contact your advisor or our advisor or reach out to help to be able to become better at this? Or do you just listen to programs like this to be able to find out who to point the finger at? And, is there a solution to your situation? This is The Real Money Pros.
The Real Money Pros is hosted by Brian Wiley and other team members of Tree City Advisors of Apollon. Tree City Advisors of Apollon is a DBA of Apollon Wealth Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor and affiliate of The Real Money Pros. The Real Money Pros and Tree City of Apollon are not affiliated with any of the companies or non-advisor professionals participating on this program. Ataraxis PEO and Apollon Wealth Management are financial sponsors of The Real Money Pros. Additionally, Apollon receives advisory fees for these sponsors and or their representatives for investment advice. Log into therealmoneypros.com to contact the host for advice, show archives, educational material, and more. This program is brought to you by the quality sponsors heard within this broadcast.